I'm continuing to analyze chess in movies. Today's topic is the product of the Chess.com and Clash of Clans collaboration. At first, I was too lazy to do it, but as I saw the demand for it rising, I knew what to do. Even though the video is 75 seconds long, there were a lot of the games which we'll be analyzing in the chronological order, so let's go. Game 2. Skeleton against an archer. We didn't see the whole board, but what can be seen is already concerning. What is this nonsense? On the 2D board, it looks like this. The part that can't be seen is cut out by the green line. You wouldn't tell me the barbarian is the queen, would you? Furthermore, this little scene contained a blooper. From this angle, it looks a lot different as white lost a rook, bishop, and a bunch of pawns. Okay, we'll look at the next game, and again, we only see a segment of the board. This segment to be exact, and wow, ridiculous. This is Karjakin from 2016, the last game, so we can fully recreate the position, and here Magnus finds a brilliant queen h6, securing the title. Karjakin only has two moves. If king takes, then rook h8 mate, and if pawn takes, then rook f7, so Sergei resigned. The giant tries to make a move, but he knocks all the pieces over. I don't know how he managed a literal world championship worth game with those hands, but that's up to your imagination. After an amazing instance of chess, we see the endgame and finally, the whole board. It's quite realistic, and black dominates this. The wizard moves the knight, and it seems like the pawn is now on a dark square. The move isn't that visible as well, but it looks like it went to c3, while the pawn is on b2 ready to take it. But if it's this way, I'm doing what this barbarian did. Then, Archer plays the Valkyrie, and you can see that a person who set this up knows how a chess game looks like. But if you look closely, it's actually madness. Besides the kings, those pawns are questionable, so if the white pawn captured on e5, that would mean it was on one of those lines because the f, d, and c pawns are still alive. So that's at least two captures. If the black one is the one getting in behind, then it would need to start on the h file. Also, black's missing a light-squared bishop, but the b and d pawns haven't moved, and imagining a knight capturing it is hard, though it's the only option. White played bishop b5 while having two mates in one. Are you kidding me? The archer, playing with black, didn't hesitate and crushed the board, signifying a resignation. Or not? Maybe they don't indicate the loss, and instead are just enraged because of the opponent's terrible move, like this. Okay, we have already witnessed a wonderful position, now a controversial one. What's next? I have no idea what's going on here. What's next? Here we see the situation which is theoretically possible. It's white to play, it's around equal. If it's black's move, then white is in serious trouble after a3 and knight check, because there are mating net concepts as well as the promotion threatened. But it's a hard one for either side. Here it's quite complicated, and it was hard to recreate. It's messy, but if it's black to play, then they can simplify it down to this and be up 9 points. If white moves, it's far more sophisticated. First they would take away the knight, then push two pawns in a row to get this fork sacrificing a bishop. Intermezzo, the rook distracts the queen off this defense. White takes the pawn. Let's count the material. White was originally 6 points down, but took a knight, two rooks, and a pawn, which sums up to 14. Black took 3 pawns, a pair of bishops, and a rook, which is the same amount. So those guys cancel each other out. Here white can initiate a trade, and the bishop stops the pawn, and black wins. Phew! We have the whole game ahead, which is played by the bomber, white, and the wizard. It starts with the Ruy Lopez. Knight f6, knight c3, bishop b4, castles and castling. This is perfect symmetry, which isn't that good. I have a short on the topic. White has a slight advantage. The bomber finally breaks the symmetry by a3. Now the wizard can't follow him because he'll lose a bishop. A recapture isn't possible because the rook is hanging. Bishop takes knight, recapture, and d5. This is a mistake as d6 and rook e8 were better options. You could even take on e4, though beware, white quickly gains the pawn back after rook e1 and removing the defender. But e takes d5 and queen takes back. Now white just needs to exchange the queens, minor pieces, and the knight is an octopus in the center. Plus white's already up a pawn. But here white refutes all the exchanges by bishop d3. That blunders a center fork and black notices it. White tries to at least get something by bishop takes. Now black can simplify by a queen trade and knight e4. But queen takes bishop and rook e1. White is taking over the open files. And after queen c4, white chooses a strange-looking rook e3 when the best approach is bishop g5 in an attempt to make a comeback by quickly developing and launching an attack. Okay, bishop g4 and rook d3, weird again. The wrong rook e8 and knight d4 blundering the queen. White crumbled. But black has tunnel vision and takes the knight. Then rook d4, bishop takes queen, rook c4, which looks like a queen trade at first, but the wizard actually used the queen as bait to mate. Rook e1 backrank checkmate. I'm delighted. This could easily be based on an amateur game. So we've gotten a diverse analysis today, a literal world championship game, a realistic one, a simplification, and just pure domination. But then also some low-quality moves in a chaotic position. If you asked me to give this a rating, I'd have no idea. But I know what you should do if you like the video. Just like it. Subscribe so I update the channel banner. See you later.